Hey, this is Daryl again from the Jackson Fishing Team, and going to continue on with this artificial intelligence AI fly selection for the Chattahoochee River here coming up at the end of January, early February. And the next series of flies that we're going to be tying are going to be Sculpin flies. They've recommended like three colors. We're going to tie one up of each of the colors, with a brown and a black and an olive. And some of them are tied with rabbit strips. Some are going to be tied Matuka style, and some will have deer hair heads and things like that. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the one we're going to tie tonight, and we'll explain the materials as we go along.
All right, this here's the brown Matuka that we're going to tie. It's got some red gills. It's using rabbit fur, deer hair for a head, and gills, or not gills, wings or the side fins. And I think the reason why AI is suggesting this for the Chattahoochee is because it's there's a lot of reproducing brown trout in there, and Atlanta's state record for a brown came out of there, and so this is probably one of the reasons that it's suggesting some streamer flies instead of some smaller stuff, let's say for the stocked rainbows and things like that that are in there, even though maybe those browns will take the smaller stuff, but on that part. So let's take a look, and we'll tie one of these up on there. The hook I'm going to use is an Orvis muddler stonefly hook, a 1526 and a size 6, and it happens to be 3x long, 1x strong, I believe. It's also got a bend. I think really you might want to tie these with a straight eye versus a down eye on there, but this is all I have for this size of hook. Of course, I'll debarb it, and on that part, let's center this up a little bit. On there. And first we're going to do is we're going to put roughly 30 wraps of a .015. Sculpin, they kind of like to swim up towards the bottom or just over the rocks. We'll clean that up a bit. We want to make sure those lead wraps are in the middle there. On that, I'm going to use some brown 3/0 thread, and I'm going to start my thread here in front, create a little dam, and to lock in our lead wraps. And now we're going to use some yarn. Some sparkle yarn in cream. And this is like for the belly. And we'll take this back to there, and I normally keep, you know, don't cut off a bunch. I just kind of leave it on the card, lock it in place, and then wrap this going forward, no matter whether I'm using chenille or yarn or whatever the body material is. And then we'll lock this in place. And we'll trim that off. And the next material we're going to use is some pearl crystal flash in here for the underwing. And I'm just going to grab 6 or 8 fibers, not a lot. And I'm not going to be precise in my count, just so that what looks like is good. And then we're going to tie this as an underwing, but not past, somewhere just around where the bend of the hook is. And that's enough to at least do a few flies. Right there. And then I'm going to put this off to the side. You know, you can clip it to something. I'll use my bead tweezers to put it down here so I don't lose it. The next material is I'm going to use some rabbit Zonkers natural brown in a Texas cut. Sculpin are kind of wide-bodied, and they narrow down towards the tail. And so we don't want, you know, you could probably get by using the narrow things, but you know, anywhere between, let's say, 1/4 inch to 3/8 is what you want to look for. And then we're going to separate this, and we're going to cut just the skin side, the skin portion, so that it's just about at the hook bend. I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to cut it right there. And then that'll give us a little bit longer tail because of the fibers going back. And also it'll help prevent any foul hooking. Next we're going to create a dubbing loop, and we're going to put some red gills on. And I lost my, there it is, my little dubbing loop here tool. We're going to kind of lock this in. And I'm going to use some folding mill SealX dub in red, or they call it fluorescent red. And we're going to put this into the dubbing loop. Now that we've got our dubbing in our dubbing loop, I'm going to spin the tool. Now I'm going to let go of it, and it's going to do its thing there. Give it a couple more turns. And then I'm going to take, you can either take a Velcro thing or something to brush out the fibers. And these are going to be the gills of the fish. And we're going to fold those back. And we're going to trim that off without cutting our thread, hopefully. Yeah, kind of brush this out. Next I'm going to take is some brown deer hair, and this is going to help create the fins, the side fins, and maybe a top fin, you know, some kind of collar we're going to put on there. And then I'm going to try to brush out these fibers, get rid of the underfur. You can maybe save that stuff for dubbing. And then I'm going to put it in the hair stacker to even up those tips there. And I'm going to pull it out, and since I'm pulling it this way, the tips are going that way, so I can pull them out like that. And then I'm going to even up this end here a little bit, just because I want to. I think I'm getting better with my deer hair stuff, but I haven't really tried doing any bass bugs yet. And we're going to want to keep this on top, these fibers on top. Then I want it to spin around. Kind of maybe twist it so it's somewhere around there. Didn't want that to happen. Got to restack that. Get that back up here. Now we want those tips, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you know, just go past those gills a little bit. We're going to pull these up, maybe push it back a little bit. Then I'm going to take some more deer hair, kind of form a head. And not using too much. And again, combing out the underfur. And stack that a little bit. And then again, I'm going to pull it out with the tips. And I'm going to cut these tips off. I don't need them right there. And this we want to spin around. I'm guessing, but the whole thing's spinning on me, but we'll fix that. We'll give it a little whip finish here. I'm going to apply a little bit of head cement on it, on the thread. Looks like I'm going to have a little bit of cleanup, or a whole lot of cleanup. You can either take your scissors or favorite tool for trimming. I like using razor blades, even though I'm not very good at it. And we're going to clean the bottom first. Try not to cut our dubbing. And then the top, we're going to kind of go ahead and angle up. And try not to cut all our fibers off. We want to keep the pointed ones. And we'll try to open up that hook eye a little bit. And might have to use the one tool here. I think we got that eye open. And maybe do a little trimming here. And there we have it. A sculpin with deer hair and head and quills. Little red gills and the tail.
So there you have it. That's the first one. We're going to do two other types, variations of the Sculpin. We're going to do a black one that's going to incorporate the Matuka, I think that's how you say it, style of tail and wings, along with, but using deer body hair for the head again. And then we're going to tie an olive version, which would be the traditional Matuka style fly. And then we'll get and tie up some nymphs for this trip for the Atlanta fly show. So hopefully you found this good. I think I'm getting better with the deer hair heads. I don't know, but I'm sure you'll let me know. But I'm getting to be more comfortable with it anyway, and maybe I'll be brave enough to try some deer hair poppers or something like that when it's all that fancy stuff. Anyway, I'm Daryl. Hopefully we'll see each other on the water, and good luck on your fishing adventures.